This is a good sample of what it looks like when I travel, and really and truly everything's not even here. I don't have my GoPro here. Here's my case. I'm not sure where the GoPro is, or one of the GoPros anyway. But there's also multiple other things that we typically charge that's not in this little picture, but I just thought I'd kind of give you the idea, and I'm thinking probably many of you kind of understand. So anytime I can make things more efficient when it comes to charging devices, as well as being able to charge devices on the go, I'm willing to invest in that. And Anker is one of the best companies there is when it comes to chargers, and that's just not my opinion. That's many technical people's opinions as well. They're definitely kind of the Apple or the Samsung of the charging world, from just charging pucks to wireless chargers to power banks, you name it. They do a top-notch job of being able to handle charging and even other items as well. They're getting into power stations and all sorts of other things. Anyway, so really and truly, camera batteries here. I don't even have my camera up here. We're using the camera. There's my DJI mics, and usually I carry another set of mics as well. There's a power bank, again, GoPro, my Apple Watch, my Apple phone. So all those things need to be charged, and by the end of the day, they're all pretty dead. And this is an idea of usually literally what goes on the road with me. So I can plug this in, and then I've got all these USB cords coming out of here so that I can charge my watch, charge my phone, charge everything else, because many times a lot of the hotels, they have those USB ports, and half the time they're hanging off the wall. They're very low power, and you just can't trust them. So at least I can find a power supply and then be able to charge everything here. However, I am limited on the amount of power that comes out of this, even though this is a nice unit. But let's take a look at what Anker has to offer. Let's first take a look at their 15-watt max pocket size 3-in-1 charger, or what they're calling their maggo wireless charging system. Let's open this up. Pretty self-explanatory. Comes with a charging puck and a cord. And by the way, I didn't show earlier my AirPods as well. Those go on the road with me all the time, every time. So I'll plug in our puck, and here we have the wireless charger. And we have a 90-degree USB Type-C cable here. Right here on the side, we can plug that in. That lights up, telling us we're good. And you can see here, so basically the watch charger pops out of here, out of the bottom. We can flip that up. Back here we have a pad. And then right here we have the MagSafe charger. So right there. Charge the phone. Right here. Charge the AirPods. And here, charge the watch. And we can even mount it sideways, and then it will go into our night clock mode. Very strong magnet. So as long as you have your MagSafe case, even an old one like mine, it's going to hold really well. So this comes in really handy at bedside or wherever you want it. You can put all your different wearables right there, and everything's going to be charged the next morning. Now, that's not a really fast charger. I believe it's a 15-watt charger, but it does absolutely fine, especially your watch and your AirPods. They don't require a lot of power for recharging. And your phone, especially for overnight, is still going to have plenty of time to recharge the device. And if not, we can go to a higher power as well. But a very handy charger to have that, again, tucks away nicely and can easily fit inside of a backpack. Now, this will run you $83 on Amazon. Next up, let's look at charging on the go. This is the Anker Prime power bank, and it's their 250-watt power bank. Well, 250-watt output, but also their capacity on this thing weighs a little bit, 27,650 milliamp hour. So this is a beefy little unit. We have 2 USB-C output and 1 USB-A output. Power button here on the side. And then you can also get a charging bank as well, where it can just sit in the cradle and recharge, or obviously either one of your USB-C ports will charge that as well. Inside we have a USB-C cable, and that's it. There is no charging puck, but there is a little carrying bag if you want to use that. Now, price on this is $180, but again, 250 watts output max. And it gives us a screen there, so you can see it says 88%. And if we'll plug this in, now we can see it's saying 7.5 watts, 10.5 watts. So it's actually telling you how much output it's giving, and it's giving you how long it will last on that battery. So with this much output, 15 hours, now down to 13 hours, as this goes up to now 10.5 watts. Again, put it in the C2 port, so you see it gives us a reading for each one of the ports. That says C2, this one says C1. So if I press the button twice, this will actually go into a Bluetooth mode. And so I said scan for devices on the Anker app, and it sees the power bank, and now it's asking me for my login. Now it's saying bring phone closer to device. Sees prime power bank. Done. Now once we do a firmware update, so let's unplug this. So we can connect the power bank with our Anker app, and we'll also be able to connect to the next charger as well. All right, now we're updated, and now we're back to the app screen here, where we can see we have 89% remaining battery life on the power bank. It will also tell us if we're charging here, how much we got in coming in or input charging it, how much we're going out or how much output's going out. So it'll give us all that data right there if you need it. Most of the time I'm just going to be using it and let it handle it on its own, but you can tap into it via the app here, and you can see it has C1, C2, and the USB Type A as far as how many watts are going out. And by the way, the USB-C outputs here will do up to 20 volts at 5 amps, so 5 times 20, that's 100, so more than 100 watts for each port. Actually, I think it claims 28 volts at 5 amps, so that's like 140 watts each, and then a 15 watt max output on the USB Type A. Now, price on this is going to be $180, and as I mentioned, that's almost 28,000 milliamp hour battery. So that will charge this phone several times over. So as far as in a day's work, even running this down, shooting video all day, things like that, and being able to charge other devices as well, this thing's going to be able to handle it absolutely fine. And then last up is this Anker Prime 250 watt charger. Now this is more of kind of a desktop unit. A beefy charging cord. And then we have an actual interface or kind of a home screen here where we can actually dial in the different ports. We can actually set power modes for each of these as well. So we can have port priority on these, where we can say if we have multiple things plugged in, it's going to charge on the C1 port first before it moves on. Or we could have port priority on 2 of them if we wanted to. So we could have port priority on 2. And you can see we can only have 2 port priorities. So now it would charge on both of these before it moves on to the other. Same with the power bank. We can also have access here from the app, where we can control things here as well. So rather than flipping through the different dials there, we can actually go on this side and be able to go in the settings here and go into the charging modes, and we can have AI power mode where it kind of selects it on its own, or you can actually see here where we have port priority on C1 and C2. I can just uncheck that and now just have port priority on 1. Even have dual laptop mode, which is going to, if you have 2 laptops plugged in, it's going to prioritize getting those charged first before it moves on to something else. So just enables you to really kind of set up something custom to be able to charge things where if you're kind of in a time crunch and you have multiple things plugged in to charge, it will handle that priority and up to 250 watts output. You can also set the screen brightness. If I want to crank this up, I can do so. Hit save, and now I can see that even brighter. And by the way, it will also go back to a clock mode as well when you're done, and actually read the date and time also. Now, price on this is $170. Again, very solid charger. I know probably a lot of times you're used to spending, $20 on a charger, but when you're really ready to step up to something where you're going to get the performance that you need, as well as the quality, both in the look and feel, as well as performance, then highly recommend Anker products.